once upon a memory. Except you're reading.
All children need to be nurtured. They crave safety, and they deserve at least one adult in the world who knows that they're wonderful.
I would say it always starts with whoever the primary caregivers are at home. It may not be a regular parent sort of role, but whoever's there at home offering that sense of safety and security to a child.
Biology doesn't determine parenthood. Love does. Anya became Nora's mother through foster care.
I think I've had more positive experiences with the foster system because the end result is having a beautiful daughter.
Who belongs in foster care? And why? It's hard to know what someone's home life is like. And even in the worst of situations, there are often ties that bind.
How my family would connect with one another is through music. Like my dad would throw a CD in the DVD player and play like Michael Jackson hits or something, and my entire family would dance around the house. It felt like that no matter what was going on, we felt as one. But then as soon as he would start drinking again, it just kind of came back.
My mom decided that she wanted men who couldn't treat her the correct way or the way that she deserved. And she was also heavily into drugs. She was always next door using, and when she wasn't next door, we were being abused.
It was a very scary point, just not ideal for anybody to go through. Experiences like being stuck out in the cold, no heat, no food, no water. I actually transferred to 7 different middle schools. I was very close to just ending it all.
So I started running away, and when I wasn't running away, it was them kicking me out of the house. It was just super unhealthy living there.
But who takes the kids when they have no place to go?
There's just a lot that goes into opening your home to a child who's coming with trauma.
Do the other side. You know, when you first started doing that, you cried, you said it was so hard, but look at that, you did it.
That's one part I can remember how.
My parents took in some children over the course of my time living in their house. Even when I was in college as an adult, my parents had foster kids in the house, and they're still part of the family. They come around at Christmas and Easter, and it was almost a natural progression when, as an adult, I decided to be a foster parent myself. There's so many kids in America, right in our own backyard, who were desperate for homes, and we were not expecting to adopt 3. Do you remember what it looked like?
Yeah.
What did it look like?
It was wooden, black, and or.
There was something that just felt right about that. You know, opening your home to someone who needs a home is really important to do, I think.
I spent a total of, I want to say like 8 years in foster care. I was lucky enough to be fostered by a lot of friends, families.
I've seen a lot of that transient sort of home life for a number of students. That's what I've seen most commonly. And foster homes seem to be hard to find for teenagers.
I felt like that nobody was listening to me. Throughout middle school and elementary school, I was bullied, and then I would go home and I would get like abused for the rest of the evening.
My junior year was super hard for me because the only consistent thing that I had in my life was the fact that I was constantly at South Burlington with the same friends that I had known since I was in kindergarten. I had friends that had met my birth mom before. They kind of went through it all with me.
There came a time that I really hit a low point. I have a lot of scars. I have holes on my arm, and I guess somewhere on my fingers I punched glass or something. Emotionally, it scars.
As bad as things may get, many kids have a hard time leaving their birth families.
I absolutely have seen the loyalty to the parents. It seems like 50-50. Sometimes a child will completely want to cut ties, be done with whatever the situation was. But I've seen very often the opposite as well.
I think it's a lot easier for me to get along with my dad just because he's always been kind of in and out of my life. It's never really been consistent, so I kind of know what to expect from him. Do you want to hold it? Is that a no? And I think that I hold a very high expectation for my mom, so it's really hard for me to accept everything that she's done and forgive and move on.
I kind of looked up to my dad. You know, you look up to your parents as sort of heroes, kind of. But it took me a while just to think about like everything that had gone on and seeing that he wasn't really a healthy person.
Luckily for Michaela and Asa, adults in their communities noticed their struggles and took action.
My dad essentially didn't care a lot about my education. I wasn't actually even lined up to go to a school at all. After school essentially started, TCF actually got involved. I remember they came down to my house and they said, "Hey, listen, we noticed that you're not in school anymore. We're just gonna move you somewhere else for a couple of days." And that's where I met Bruce and Karen. So Bruce and Karen really helped me academically, socially. And they got me inducted into Harwood. I didn't even know that it was a school. I actually auditioned for a musical.
And in 2016, Ace's foster parents, Bruce and Karen McDonald, adopted him.
I was almost adopted. Well, it was a discussion with my mentor, Donna. She has known me since I was 9. And she and her husband, Dave, have been like a perfect picture parents to me. I call them mom and dad now.
Adoption doesn't always work out. A better choice for Michaela was a group home.
My experience in the group home was definitely rocky, to say the least. You're really working on yourself, and that was really hard for me because I didn't really think there was anything to work on.
I was doing a lot of working on how to be myself. I really liked writing a lot. It was a way for me to explore how I felt. I can actually be a somebody.
Still, even as foster kids move on, they always think about the ones they've left behind.
The closest relationship I have with birth family is my brother. I've been with him ever since he was born, and even though I ended up having to leave at 14, I've always maintained a relationship with him. I'm always there for him. I try to be the one consistent person in his life.
So I ended up being like a parent, especially in the beginning years. I had to do a lot of helping out my siblings. Our bond growing up was inseparable. We had each other, and so It was a big step for me to take when I left. I knew that I would hardly see them. I just miss them, you know, every day. So yeah.
It's just really important to me that I'm always there for him and I can be a role model for him. I promised that I'd be the first in my family to graduate high school and go to college, mainly to show my brother that, like, we don't need to live a shitty life like our parents did.
I didn't think I was even going to go as far as I have already. I want to be able to set the bar so, you know, they're doing well. I want to do well so that they can do well so that I can do well.
If you were to reunite me with my mom, I probably wouldn't be in college today.
I don't know where I would be today. Probably homeless with my father. So I'm very thankful for everything that my current parents have taught me. They've helped me become who I wanted to become.
The most important quality for fostering a child, I think, would be being able to have an open heart and realizing that the stuff that kids have to go through at such an early age is so unfair, but it also shapes who they are.
All these parts of my life, essentially, they sort of connect. Some of them are bad, some of them are good, some of them are supportive, some of them really aren't. But it's about taking the whole thing.
You just have to be strong enough to know that nothing of what a foster child is doing is personal, and we just want love and support and consistency.
Some of life's biggest challenges can turn a person into such a beautiful and different and strong person because of the challenges they went through. So hardship a lot of times can turn into something beautiful.